Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. This is the January 31, 2025 edition of the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. Today we have as our special speaker, Elizabeth Lyons, who's going to be talking to us about job search trends for 2025, what you need to know to stay ahead. Elizabeth, I think I saw you online. Thank you very much for being here. Always a pleasure. She will be presenting online today, and Walt is under the weather, so he's online today. So thank you for coming and keeping me company. All right. As a reminder, this event is recorded, and we will upload it to the Career YouTube channel, Career USA, in the next 72 hours. So by participating, you give consent to have your name and picture appear in that recording. Comments in the Zoom chat do not appear in that recording, FYI. While Jeff Morris is recovering, myself and Walt Glass are the interim leaders of the group. Walt, say hello. You're muted.
Oh, I was coughing. Good morning, everyone.
We hope you feel better, Walt. And as a reminder, our illustrious leader, who is going to join us for lunch today, started this back in 2007. Then he created careerdfw.org in 2008, then careerusa.org in 2012. He's written a book. He's also a member of the PIC crew. He is all things to job seekers, and we appreciate him and hope he will be back with us full time very soon. Also, as a reminder, this is a networking event, so if you're online, please turn on your video and let us see your smiling face. Agenda as usual, success stories, and we've got a few job leads, 30-second introductions, interview success workshop, PIT crew, career tip of the week, and then Elizabeth Lyons is our main event. All right, my favorite part, success stories. Patty?
Hello. So yes, I accepted a job offer yesterday. And I will be starting actually on February 17th, which is not a holiday for that company. So normally that's President's Day. So I will be starting in a couple of weeks. I am actually meeting my manager next week for lunch because he's going to be in town. So yeah, it's good news. It's been a long time coming.
Title, company, how'd you get it?
So as far as the title goes, I'm a retail senior client lead, and the company is called dunnhumby. They are big in marketing research. They set up the loyalty card program for Tesco, for Bashas', and other grocery store retailers around the country. So anybody in CPG would probably have heard of dunnhumby. Yeah, so I actually, let's see, as far as applying for it, so just to let you guys know, this was a blind apply. I didn't know anybody at the company. So it was a blind apply. I spoke with the HR person on December 19th. Then, of course, there was the holiday break. Didn't have my first interview with the hiring manager and somebody else on their team until January 8th. And then I had that on the spot case interview that I was talking about.
Was that the
And
elephant?
No, that was something else totally.
Okay.
So, and with that, with the on the spot case interview, they didn't tell me in advance what it would be. They told me 5 minutes at the top of the hour. I had 45 minutes to prepare. And then I had 10 minutes to present. So it was a lot of pressure to do and on the spot because you don't know what they're going to ask you. And then I had an interview with the hiring manager's manager. Let's see, was it Friday a week ago? And then I got the offer on Tuesday. I reviewed it, and then I accepted yesterday.
Fantastic.
Thank you. And it's going to be a hybrid role, so I'll be 3 days on site at the client.
All right. As most of you know, Patty was also our interim leader for LinkedIn Tuesdays. She's been doing that for many months, and we appreciate it. And Jeff Morris just walked in. Jeff, how you doing? I don't know if you heard, but Patty Bashy landed. So, all right. Patty, thanks just isn't enough to thank you for all that you've been doing to help job seekers in your transition. We got to do something special for you. So thanks again.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm happy to help. And I'm still here to network. And I'm still going to lead the next two LinkedIn Tuesday sessions. So you'll still see me around for a little bit.
Fantastic.
Patty,
All right.
that's great news. I'll tell you, I know that you almost was at another offer stage with another company. So you had that pressure going on too, and the timing, that sort of thing. But I think some things are going to work out for the best for you. And I want to tell everyone that Patty's always putting tips and things into the chat window. So that chat window will be available to those of you that are online, and I've put your email in the online, and also for those of you that signed in the room, because there's always some good tips from Patty to all of us. Great supporter. Thank you so much, Patty, and congratulations.
You're welcome. And thank you for your partnership and support. It was a team effort for all of this as well. So really appreciate it. And I'm happy to connect with any of you if I'm not already connected, and help you with your journey as well.
Thank you, Patty. I heard there was another one online. Initials DB.
Yes, I landed.
Woohoo!
Hey. So I started, or I'm going to be working for the Container Store in Fairview, Texas, as the GM. They've got the closet business as well, so it's a little bit different retail setting, a lot more moving parts. They've got construction and installation projects going on in the store, as well as just running the store. So really nice group of people. And I started interviewing on New Year's Eve, and just finished up last week. And then they were really quick about moving forward and getting the offer in. So it still took 3 weeks maybe. But yeah, I'm excited about it. We'll see where else it leads. It's kind of maybe more of a stepping stone for me right now, but who knows? So
Congrats. How did you get it?
I originally applied online, and then I went through my LinkedIn network and looked up who knew, second connections to anybody there. And Alan Miano, who'd been in he was job searching back in the fall. He had worked for Neiman Marcus years ago, and he knew the head of HR at the Container Store because they both worked together at Neiman's. So my resume went to the top, and no questions asked. The HR person just sent it over, and so it was a great setup.
That's fantastic. Congrats again.
Thanks. I'll be there next week. I'll be there next week so I can bring donuts.
Okay. We'll look
Okay.
forward to it.
All right.
All right. Anybody else? All right. We actually have two more. Fadi Corey, who was part of the group last fall, didn't officially announce, but we saw that he recently updated his LinkedIn. He started as CFO at TD Jakes in November. Fadi is Fadi, last name Khoury. And the last one is Jody Dolberg. He's already started, and he asked me to announce for him. His email says, in October, I applied for this position, but had not heard back. As I revisited past applications, I decided to check if I had any connections at the companies I'd applied to. For this company, a recruiter had recently met. I had recently met, had a connection, and kindly wrote an introduction for me. Thanks to that, everything moved quickly. The phone screen was scheduled. followed by an in-person interview and an offer, all within 10 days. I'm incredibly grateful to my new employer for their efficiency and organization throughout the process. A special thank you to Troy Dye, who made this introduction just a week after his role as a recruiter ended. His support truly made a difference, and I will always appreciate it. I'm also deeply thankful for the Plano Focus Group and the invaluable time and effort Matt Keelan, Walt Glass, Jeff Morris, and careerdfw.org provided. Your guidance, encouragement, and modeling have been instrumental, and I could not have done this without you. He is landed at Witherwright Law Group. He's making 20% more than his previous position. And he points out 1.5% above his initial request, which is interesting. He starts Monday, February 3rd, and your value and skills remain intact for anyone navigating a long job search, even during uncertain times. So congratulations, Jody. And he also asked us to bring the donuts on his behalf. So Walt was nice enough, because he's closer to Krispy Kreme than I am, picked him up, met me in the parking lot. He had the key, got me in, and then went home and got online because he's not feeling well today. So wow. So 4 landers today. I think that's a record. Is that a record, Jeff? For a while? Okay. So wow, that's fantastic. Congratulations to everybody. All right. Job leads. Do we have any recruiters with us online today? All right. Shoot. Hey, look at you. You snuck in.
Can they hear me okay?
Come on up and grab the microphone and stand in front of the.
Good morning. My name is John Ernett, and a friend of mine is looking for a regional sales manager. This is a technical sales position. The company is called Tiger Flow. This is a position that needs technical experience in pumps, water flow related commercial industries. So they do heat exchangers and boilers and that kind of stuff. This position is going to be based in the Midwest, so anywhere from Illinois all the way over to Pennsylvania. So over that area, they need somebody in that area. It's about a 6 or 7 state area that they're trying to grow their business. They're looking for somebody with, again, who has technical engineering type background. If you have any interest or know someone who'd be qualified for this role, the person to contact is named Mike Quinn, MIKE.QUINN @tigerflow.com. I have a full detail of the description. If you want to email me or Mike, I can send it to you. You can take a picture of it, get all the information, but it's a growing business. They're looking for someone in that area, and they're looking to hire people.
Cool. Hey, since you're standing there, the next section is introductions. So if you would, back up a little bit, face that laptop so people online can see you, and follow this script. For those of you online, you know the drill.
My name is John Ernett. I'm not looking for a title role because I am currently retired.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. But I do help here out at the pit crew here at Dallas area as a panelist. Again, if you need contacts at Tiger Flow, I know the director who's trying to hire a technical sales manager. I also have information with companies like Lennox and eVerge here in the DFW area. Again, my name is John Ernett.
All right. If the rest of you would line up behind John and introduce yourself. For speed, we had a lot of landers today, so I'd like to go quickly to get to our special presentation. So if you would, please line up behind Steve.
Morning, everybody. I'm Steven Sulkin. Looking for a director of process improvement. I need contacts at Cook Children's. and I have contacts at Baylor's Gone White. I'm Steve Sullivan.
Thank you, Steve.
Hi, I'm David Turner, looking for a senior HRIS analyst position. Need contacts at Starbucks, American Airlines, or Qualtrics. I have contacts at PepsiCo and McDonald's. My name is David Turner.
Thank you, David.
Good morning. My name is Jenny Holcomb. I am looking for an event planner and marketing position. I need contacts at local retail stores. And I have contacts with military companies that are vendors. My name is Jenny Holcomb.
Thanks, Jenny. Mike.
Good morning. My name is Mike Belzil. So I'm looking for a VP or Senior Director role of product management. So I'm looking for contacts at Salesforce or Keurig Dr. Pepper. So I have contacts at Walmart, Epsilon, and Circana. My name is Mike Belzil.
Another Mike.
Hello, my name's Michael Will. I'm looking for a senior or lead quality engineer position in the aerospace industry. I need contacts at DRS and Collins Aerospace. My name is Michael Will.
Hi, my name is Mike Knoll. I'm looking for a manager of quality engineering position in the aerospace industry. I need contacts at Leonardo or other small up and coming aerospace companies that need help with their QMS. I have contacts at L3 Harris and Collins Aerospace. My name is Mike Knoll.
Thank you, Mike.
Good morning, another Mike here. My name is Michael Garber. I'm looking for a position as an IT program manager. Contacts at Constellation Energy. Have contacts at IBM and Kyndryl. My name is Michael Garber.
A lot of Mikes today.
Hello, my name is Derek Schroeder. I'm looking for customer success roles, so anything client facing. And I need contacts at Gartner and Microsoft. And I don't really have any contacts. My name is Derek Schroeder.
Thank you, Derek.
Hi, my name is Chris Ritter, R-I-T-T-E-R. I always have to spell it because people get it wrong. I'm looking for web or software engineering jobs. Any contacts at just any tech company, really. Pretty broad, but I have contacts with iStation and Insurance Technologies Corporation. And again, my name is Chris Ritter.
Chris, what was the last one?
Sorry, my last name?
The last company.
It was Insurance Technologies Corporation.
Insurance Technologies. I've not heard of them. Okay. If you would hand the,
Now, like, evaluated, with evaluated too.
okay. If you would hand the microphone to the person behind you. Thanks.
Morning, my name is Kimberly Taylor. I'm in property management and I'm looking for an assistant manager role. I don't have any current contact companies I'm looking for, but I do have contacts at Chase Bank. Again, my name is Kimberly Taylor.
Thank you, Kimberly. Asa.
My name is Marshall Gully. I'm looking for a position in either transportation or supply chain management. I'm looking for a position. I'm looking for contacts with the Plano Police Department or Frisco, and then also with Stevens Transport.
Good morning. My name is David Coward, and I'm looking for a client account director position. And I'm targeting companies like Salesforce and ServiceNow. I have contacts at IBM and Manpower Group. My name is David Coward.
David, didn't you just make an announcement?
And
I saw something on LinkedIn.
oh, yes. Thank you, Walt. So I actually just opened up my own consulting firm this week. I'm focused on helping companies with performance, growth, and efficiency. The name of the organization is Bridge Consulting Services.
So is that a partial landing?
I would say I've got some clients that I'm talking to about being my first clients, and so I'm excited about that opportunity.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations.
Thanks for the reminder, Walt. Good morning.
Also, let me interrupt. Elizabeth had mentioned in the chat that she had a couple of contacts perhaps. And so Elizabeth, if anyone that has a connection or something, just interrupt in the introduction, say, I have a contact at or whatever it is so that we can get y'all hooked together. Was it Mike? I don't remember which Mike it was. Who was looking for the product role. And someone needed a Fiserv contact. And so Elizabeth is volunteering to say, hey, I have a contact there.
Which Mike is product? Is that you, Bizzle?
I thought it was Mike Bezel, but I'm not sure. Anyway, look at the chat. For those of you that are in the room, be sure and look at get a copy of that chat so you can get that information.
I will include a copy of the chat as usual in my follow-up email. So yeah, it's Elizabeth Lyons. I can help Mike that is looking for the product role. We just need to figure out which Mike. All right, Miguel.
All right, my name is Miguel Castillo. I am looking for a director or VP of finance, especially in the FP&A space. I need contacts at AT&T or Toyota, and I have contacts at Amazon and American Airlines. So David Turner back here, needs some American Airlines contacts. My name is Miguel Castillo.
Thanks, Miguel.
Good morning, Mitch Birchfield, IT support. Been doing that for about 20 years. Don't really have any target companies. Looking for a job.
Are you a part of South Lake?
Yes.
Did you get there was a job for IT support this week in the Google group. Did you get that?
I missed it.
All right. If you'll connect with me, I'll forward it to you. All right. All right. Moving to those online. Michelle Hawk.
Morning, everyone. This is Michelle Hawk. I have 15 years plus of experience in accounts receivable, cash posting. I also have 3 years of experience recently in dental surgeon insurance verification. I am looking for a position with CVS. That's my main target to go back into pharmacy distribution. I'm looking for somebody who has a contact in the revenue department. Also, if I have to, I'll go back into logistics into shop floors. And I'll work on the floor and I'll balance inventory for a bunch of warehouses again. Anyhow, this is Michelle Hawk. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you. Graciela.
Good morning. My name is Graciela Custer. I have a part-time marketing associate position. In the near future, I'll be seeking a full-time position, and I'm seeking digital marketing contacts now. My name is Graciela Custer. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeffrey O'Bear.
Good morning. I'm Jeff Beaubear. I'm a customer-facing technical sales engineer. I'm looking for sales engineering, technical account manager type roles. Through pre and post sales engagements, I build and maintain customer relationships in both a technical.
Thank you, Jeff. Scott Cunningham.
Pardon?
Scott Cunningham.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, my name is Scott Cunningham. I'm looking for a global physical security position, not cyber. My target company is looking for a contact at KPMG. And again, my name is Scott Cunningham. Oh, and I do have contacts at Cisco, the internet company, not the food company.
The one that starts with a C, not the S.
Yeah, that one.
Thank you. Amy.
Hi, my name is Amy Fleming. I'm looking for a director of HR positions. The target company I'm looking for is Smart Buy Glasses. I have contacts at Bechtel and Medtronics. My name is Amy Fleming.
Thank you, Amy. Brad Stubblefield. How are you, sir?
All right, can you hear me?
We can.
Sorry, had a little technical difficulty there. My name is Brad Stubblefield, and I'm looking for an IT business analyst position. And I'm currently looking at a contact at Kings 3 Emergency Communications. And I have contacts at Chick-fil-A. My
Thank
name
you.
is Brad Stubblefield.
Good to see you, Brad. David Faith.
Hi, I'm David Faith. I'm new to the group. And I'm looking for director of finance roles. I've got 15 plus years experience within healthcare specifically. I do have contacts at Baylor Scott and White and Milburn Partners, which is a recruitment firm specific to healthcare finance, as well as US CCM, which is a new physician startup, kind of a private equity joint venture. They're also looking for different roles there. And my name is David Faith.
Thank you, David. Let's see, what was that? David Ramirez.
Good morning, everyone. My name is David Ramirez. I'm looking for an IT support analyst role. My target companies are American Airlines, Charles Schwab, CoreLogic, and the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. My name is David.
Thank you, David. Derek Schroeder. Oh, faked me out. He's in the room, logged in. Diane, one last time. Or next to last time, if you're going to be here next week.
Sorry, I need to, the company's calling me really quick. I have a 10 o'clock call with them. I just need to pick up.
No problem.
Okay.
Go for it. Go for it. Good excuse. Karen Harper.
Hi, I'm Karen Harper. I'm looking for an accounting job, a senior accountant or accounting supervisor, accounting manager, assistant controller, those kind of positions. I need contacts for companies that are remote because I live in Kansas. So, yeah. And then I have contacts at Western Union, which is based out of Denver, but I worked there for 18 years. My name is Karen Harper.
Thank you, Karen. Stay warm.
Yeah.
George Workins. George? How about Peter Watson?
Good morning. I'm Peter Watson, service delivery or project management with the telecoms tech background. I'm looking for either remote jobs or ones in Plano, near Texas and surrounding cities. My target company is GBIT, which has an office up in McKinney for this week. I have contacts at Tempest Telecom, Ericsson, and Verizon. And my name is Peter Watson.
Thank you, Peter. Vitaly.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Vitaly Platonov. I am looking for supply chain manager or logistics specialist position. I need contacts at Texas Instruments, company Lucid, and Caterpillar. I have contacts at Hyundai Motor America and International. It's a truck manufacturer. My name is Vitaly Platonov. Thank you.
Thanks, Vitaly. Kathy Dixon.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Dixon. I'm a senior technical writer with experience documenting hardware, software, and application and system software, as well as processes and procedures. I'm industry agnostic because all industries need a tech writer. My most recent experience is at 7-Eleven and Circle K, and I have contacts in the PM department at both of those, but Circle K is really farming out stuff. All of their positions are remote and they're going offshore with them. Kathy Dixon, senior tech writer.
Thanks, Kathy. Kelly.
Hi, this is Kelly Morgan. Sorry, let me get my notes. I'm looking for a product owner, business analyst, and QA roles. I need contacts at Capital One or any other remote work first companies. I have contacts at City where I worked for 7 years. And I'm also looking to network and looking for help workshopping my resume if anybody can help with that. And I will post a link to my LinkedIn if anyone wants to connect. Thanks, Kelly Morgan.
Bill.
Good morning. I'm Phil Elsner, E-L-S-N-E-R. Happy about the landings we've had. Way to go, guys. Let's keep doing it. I am a PMP credentialed senior project manager, many years in IT especially. My healthcare background leads me to be looking for UT Southwestern project management. I'd appreciate your help there. I'm Phil Elsner. Let me know how I can help you.
Thank you, Phil. Rhonda Sellers.
Good morning. My name is Rhonda Sellers. I'm a construction specifications writer for architects. I'm either between jobs or retired. That's yet to be determined. I'm Rhonda. It's nice to have the break and catch up on my ever-growing to-do list.
Well, when you get through it, I could use some help.
All right.
Rosina.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I am looking for a position as a senior talent acquisition business partner or senior recruiter position. I need contacts at Goldman Sachs, Deloitte, Delta Dental, Unum Dental, MetLife, Walmart, ADP, USAA, and TIAA. I have contacts at a variety of different companies, and as I hear them, I will definitely reach out directly to you. Again, my name is Rosina Gallman.
Thanks, Rosina. Roshan. Sean. Steve Rowan.
Hi, my name is Steve Rowan. I'm a retired .NET developer. I have contacts at Fiserv and GM Financial. My name is Steve Rowan.
Thank you, Steve. Sean?
Yeah, sorry about that. My mute button was messed up.
No
Sean
problem.
Toy, I'm looking for a director of supply chain position. And I was looking for contacts for L3 Harris. Anyone has contacts for L3 Harris?
All right. Did I miss anyone online? James Andre, I don't think I called on you.
Hey,
Hello.
man. Yeah, you didn't. But anyways, I'm Jim Andre. I'm from Chicago. I'm a senior project program manager, currently employed with a telecom company out of Florida. Here to listen to Elizabeth talk about, her topic today on job search trends. And if I can help anybody, just reach out to me.
Anyone else online? All right. Mr. Glass. Is your voice holding up?
Well, hello again, everyone. Yes, my name is Walt Glass, and I like to help job seekers with their fundamental selling interviewing skills. So I do a free interview success workshop. It is a learning workshop. It is not a mock interview. You have to be registered to attend. Go to that next slide if you would. Give me all my bullets. But anyway, email walton9glass@yahoo.com. That there's a QR code there that'll start an email. It'll need to be filling in a couple of items of information, and I'll send you back available dates. Generally on Tuesdays, 9 to 11 Central Time on Zoom. So you'll get your interview video, which is part of it. You're going to get a handout. Well, it's got an hour-long video over the basics fundamentals that kind of covers everything generically and a few other things to help you with interviewing and follow-up and job search type things related to that. Look at my About section on LinkedIn. It gives you details about the workshop. It's a little bit more information if you want to know how it works and how it runs, that sort of thing. But I'd love to have you participate. When it comes to interviewing things, I'd love to be the wind above your wings. And now we ask what price that brings. It really is free with no attached strings. That point came with the above because everybody's looking to follow the science today. So the science of lift comes from the wind going above the wing, not below. So if it's below the wing, you're going to dive. If it's above the wing, it's going to provide the lift. So that's why I changed it to above. I'm just following the science.
Walt, I want a minute with you later. I never understood because of that aerodynamics why a plane can actually fly upside down. I never understood that. Okay. Let's see. Pit crew. Do you want to talk about that, or do you want me to handle it?
I can talk about it if you like.
Okay.
The pit crew also helps people with interviewing skills as well. It is a mock panel interview. Excuse me, my throat's a little bit bad. It meets in person. It's at the same room where the in-person people are today for the career focus group. And on the fourth Wednesday, it meets online. That's for the people that are outside the DFW area, because since COVID came along and we went all to Zoom, we still allow people to do that. You can observe. All you have to do is send your resume and a job description to the Dallas Pit Crew at gmail.com on the address on that card to register. I know that there's several. We do 2 or 3 a week. I'm a panelist on the pit crew. There's a few others. Matt's a panelist. There's a few others that are panelists as well. But we'd like to have you join that. Everyone who's done that has always said they were glad they did it. The motto for the pit crew is practice early, practice often. The motto for the workshop is learning without squirming.
Thank you, Walt. All right, Rosina, time for the career tip of the week. We are running way behind, so if we could have the Cliff Notes version, that would be awesome.
Even better, I'm going to shorten it even more.
Okay.
With that said, good morning, everybody. Congratulations to all of our landers. I know that is a stress relief beyond comparison to anything else. So thank you guys for sharing with us your joys. Because of the interest of time, I'm literally going to, hang on one second, say that the article is about 12 pages long. The Cliff Notes version is a couple of pages long. So with that said, I'm going to let Matt go ahead and send out the article link in the group email that he sends out to us. You guys can read it. You can also add in the summary, add that to your Cliff Notes, so to speak. And then that way we can keep this thing moving. But again, congratulations to all of the new landers. And the career tip of the week is your 2025 job search checklist for fast track success. So look for that in the email. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you, Rosina. That dovetails very nicely into today's talk. Those career tips of the week are posted to careerusa.org, and we're getting a lot good press, as you can see. Rosina's tip back from September 15th, 372 hits. So if you missed a meeting, please use that resource. It's invaluable. All right. Today, after the meeting, we'll be headed to Mama's Pizza right down the road at Parker and Custer. And now it's time for the main event. Elizabeth Lyons, if you have a question for her, raise your hand in the Zoom window, or I'll be helping her monitor the chat. And now it's time for Elizabeth. She stands apart as I was going to introduce you.
Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
Elizabeth Lyons stands apart in the coaching realm as a 3-time best-selling author of transformative books like I Quit, Working for You Isn't Working for Me, and Hear Us Roar. Her focus isn't just on coaching, it's on revolutionizing career trajectories. With over 2 decades immersed in talent acquisition, she possesses an unparalleled understanding of the corporate landscape. This unique perspective allows her to predict hiring, firing, and promotion patterns, giving clients an insider advantage. What sets her apart? Custom crafted coaching programs designed not for general success, but tailored to deliver measurable, concrete outcomes. While many coaches offer guidance, Elizabeth provides strategic blueprints honed for her insider knowledge. Her coaching isn't just about securing promotions or navigating job markets, it's career metamorphosis. And you can see more about her work at lionsology.com. And Elizabeth, thank you very much for being here. If you
Sure.
would, welcome her.
Sure. I'm glad to see you, Matt, but I'm not glad to see you. I thought you landed by now. I remember you very clearly. So my
Thanks for the
friend,
reminder.
yeah. So my friend, if you need a contact after this, we can do a quick call or what have you. So it's good to see you though. Thanks for having me back.
Uh-huh. I've stopped sharing. Do you want me to display your presentation, or are you going to?
Yeah, I think that's great. If you would do that, and then I'll just say next slide, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
What I'd like to ask in the chat, I'll take them at the end, and you might hold your questions because it might get answered and processed here. So we can take them at the end.
All right. Let me restart my screen share. Find it.
Congratulations to everybody that landed while you're doing that, while you're hooking us up. So congratulations, that's fantastic. I remember Jody very well, actually. I was thrilled to hear he landed. So that's great.
Yeah, I found the window.
No problem. Take your time. There we go.
Ta-da.
All right. Ta-da. Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you for coming back.
Oh, my pleasure. So I write this every year. I think I've been doing this presentation like for maybe 3 or 4 years. And I always feel like a weather person whenever I do this. I feel it's like the economic update, and I'm like, there's a low here, there's a high here. So if it starts to sound like your local weather person, that's probably why. So we'll just roll right into it. What we're going to talk about today is what's kind of hot and what's kind of not within the job search, and what you're going to see and what you're going to experience so you can manage the offers that will be coming your way. Next slide, please. So specifically, there are 3 key employment trends that I want you to be aware of this year so that you can also get your head in the gear for interviews and how you want to present yourself. I do want to talk through AI and its impact in recruiting because there's a lot of kind of fear and pandemonium about what that is and if you'll get a job and how that's going to make the search possibly more complicated. So I actually have some good news around that because I want to explain that to you a little bit. One of the key points I want to share with you is how to actually talk about AI in interviews and how that's going to separate you from the other candidates that may be applying or interviewing for the same job, kind of have something different to talk about to make you a unique candidate. We'll talk about how to get out of the ATS and get hired by networking, and specifically, what does that mean? And then I've got some final tips, some links, and some takeaways at the very end. So my name is Elizabeth Lyons. I've been kicking around Dallas for, I don't know, since 2010, probably. Here quite a while. I'm a 3-time author. One of the books that I'm very known for is I Quit, Working for You Isn't Working for Me, and Hear Us Roar, Unapologetic Women Leading in Corporate America. That's kind of funny because I thought I wrote a women's leadership book, but apparently I wrote a book for everybody. I've had a tremendous amount of male executives read it. So it's kind of a cool read around office politics and positioning, and probably a good read on how to not lose your job, politically, that is. I think what makes me a little different is, I've been in corporate America a very long time. I've been coaching a really long time before there was coaches. My books came out on Amazon, and prior to Amazon, I had a publisher before people could even get on Amazon and publish whatever they wanted. So I've been doing it a long time. And one of the things I like to do in my practice is I don't believe everything I read or that I watch on TV in terms of news. I really like to leverage my contacts and talk to people in other industries within corporate America and see what my own company is doing and then kind of compare that and look at the trends along with the data and what people are saying. And as I go through this presentation, rest assured I've done that this data points that I've brought to you, they can be fact verified, but this is also coming from friends I have in AT&T and Amazon and all the 4 major banks and Fiserv and all kinds of other companies. So I often talk to them and say, hey, what are you seeing? What are you hearing? Or just organically, they'll bring up information and that all helps me to kind of verify what am I seeing and what am I reading out there. Next slide, please. So the first thing I want to talk about, which I think is pretty exciting actually, is skills-based hiring. This is a thing. There is actually a documentary right now on Netflix on this exact premise. And what this simply says is we want to hire people everywhere in America, not just corporate America, but everywhere. We want to hire people based on their skills. So the titles aren't going to really make or break you anymore. You being in an industry for 25 years isn't really going to make or break you anymore. If you have some skill and you can demonstrate that you have done that skill, all of a sudden the industry starts to fall away. Some of the years experience may fall away. A specific example with that might be cybersecurity. So let's say that you've got some good foundational chops in cybersecurity already, and then you go out and you get some certifications. That's what I'm talking about when we get into skill. You know, what kind of certifications do you have? Can you demonstrate you've done other things? So another good example is maybe you're in software development or in some sort of IT function, and in your private time, you've got a sandbox where you go in and you play with things, you break things, you're learning Python on the side, you're, demonstrating some other coding skills. Maybe you have a boot camp in that, maybe you don't, but on the side, you're actually, you've got skills, you're learning skills, you're adding to the skills. That's what they want to hear about in these interviews. So certifications, classes, embracing AI. What do you know about AI? Are you one of the millions that's afraid of it? Are you walking around with, oh my God, it's going to take my job? How are you feeling about that? How is that coming through in interviews? Can you demonstrate you've taken some AI classes? Can you demonstrate you've taken some machine learning classes? If you're in an interview, what can you give to them? What can you add? What can you share with them? Can you ask them, hey, tell me about your AI and ML transformation, and understand what they're saying back to you? I mean, simple things like that, how you can gain some skills and go into interviews and how can I help you? And what we're finding is that's going to be the biggest trend now. We've seen in 2020 where we started to completely drop the educational qualification out of all job ads. You do not have to have a degree now when you apply. You'll notice that right away. Then the other thing you're going to notice in the ads is they're very open. So they'll say things like 5+ years. It'll be this blanket skill set. 5+ years in leadership, 5+ years in cybersecurity or cybersecurity engineering or threat hunt or accounting. Like there'll be this really broad statement. Then under desired, they start to get more specific. The idea is a couple of things. They're trying to open it up to really level the playing field as we back away from DEI. They're opening all this up. Employers well know they've got a talent shortage about to hit, right? With people retiring. They want the up and comers. They're also opening it up. And this I heard from a friend in industry at a very large bank. So the internals can qualify for these roles. Maybe they haven't held that title ever in this large corporation, but they've done pieces of this job. Like very specifically, maybe they don't have leadership experience, like the title of leadership, but they have done that, right? Because there's a difference between leadership and management. So there's an opening here that I'm really actually excited about. And I will get you the name of that documentary, but I highly recommend you see that on Netflix. It's highly inspirational about how individuals in New York City did not have all the qualifications, did not have the greatest schools, weren't able to do that. And there was, I don't know, 6 companies that stepped up. JP Morgan was actually one of them. that said, we want to do some skills-based interviewing. So maybe this is somebody that did 2 years in IT and took a boot camp, but they want to be a software developer and they're having a difficult time breaking in New York City because that's a tight network and everybody in financial services knows everybody and everybody in tech knows everybody. So you get these people coming in with stronger educations, getting these jobs or through the referral network. This whole concept really levels the playing field. And again, I'll get that name of that documentary. It's highly inspirational. And it talks about really where all the companies are going. And there's several interviews with those companies speaking to, this is what we want. We want the can-do person. Nobody has to be perfect on paper anymore. We want to hear from these people. And so I'm really excited about this change. And you're most certainly going to see it this year in corporate America. Resumes should be skill-based kind of focused. That's it. Yes, Roshan, thank you. That's exactly it, my friend. That's it. Please see that. Please take time this weekend and see it. It's so inspirational, if nothing else. You're going to see this in your resumes, right? Get them skill-based. Have some conversations about, hey, it's not on my resume, but this is what I've been learning. Be excited to talk about what you can give. I think that's the biggest thing. What can you give to that employer? Next slide, please. Hybrid working. Oh, this is such the hot topic. Such the hot topic. While we're doing this, I think we all know between watching the news and, Trump's executive orders and, we're definitely doing this. JP Morgan came out and said we're in the office 5 days. Amazon came out and said we're in the office 5 days. Typically, in my experience, 20 plus years, they look at the big guys.
Dad, how are you?
They look at the big guys
Good.
in tech.
Did you get my quote?
Hey, George, can you mute, please?
Thanks, George. So what they do is we look at JP Morgan, we look at Microsoft, we look at these big players. Usually there's about 5 of them, and we see what they're doing. And then really the rest of the country follows suit. So RTO is a thing. What they're going to start to look at, and you'll see this as you ask in interviews, is if you have to be in the office, let's say 3 days, let's say it's truly a hybrid role, they may start to be specific on either days you have to come in or hours. So for example, JP Morgan Chase says you have to be in the office those 5 days,
Okay.
but you need to be in the office for 6 hours. There's a minimum there. They want to see the badge swipe in and out. They want to know kind of where you're at and that you are a part of the team. That's the whole point of this, is like the collaboration, the coming back, and all that is a big piece of this. Part of what they're doing this is they want to be performance driven and not attendance driven. So there will be some flexibility around that. But what you're going to start to see is less and less fully remote positions. I don't really know if the hybrid is going to go away. I really couldn't predict, because this is the first time where we have an administration that's also making some bold statements around RTO. So I don't know how this is going to land, but I would say get ready for this. And in your interviews, get ready to talk about this. So if they're going to say, come in the office 3 days a week, ask them, what does that mean, to make sure that you're okay with that. If it's 6 hours, that's great. I got to do kid drop off. Can I be here from 9 to 3, or is it 4 hours, or, how flexible are they? I will tell you, if you don't ask the questions and you take the position and you don't comply, they can immediately move it to an ER case and begin to remove you right out of the org. So I wouldn't exactly try to fight the process here, but I would ask some questions in the interviews to make sure it's a good fit from a commute standpoint and so forth. Next slide. AI and hiring. So this is quite the topic. So first, I want to start with, we hear and we read in the news every day, all day long, AI, AI, AI. But oddly enough, what they don't tell you is AI is an umbrella word that can mean lots of things. Most companies that are talking about AI right now, specifically in banking and financial or any financial service company, it is not really AI as you might fear. It's truly automation. And unless you understand the difference, you could get real scared about, and where's my job going and how is this all going to work out? So automation very simply is automating repetitive tasks. So how it shows up for you and what you're going to see a lot this year is lots of chat bots in the hiring process. So you'll go into the ATS to fill out the application and bloop, up will pop a chat bot and it'll ask you questions. Can I answer anything for you? How'd you find our company? And you'll start to interact with a chatbot in the hiring process. You will also see automation coming out in the interview process where they might send you a text and confirm your interviews. So that kind of automation you're going to start to see. Onboarding, offboarding. Again, you're going to start to see this automation process really kick in this year. So you're going to touch it and feel it and maybe not know it. The one thing I can tell you for certain, because I just finished the certification on it on LinkedIn through LinkedIn Learning. I did their certification on recruiting. It was quite extensive, but that is no fooling around. There truly is not just automation, but some machine learning in there. And for me personally, I made a statement on LinkedIn that said, well, this isn't great because frankly, I'm never going to find you. Because when you get in there, it wheedles it down and wheedles it down, but my list is still like 3,000 people. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I guarantee you, even if I wheedled it down to 100 people, I bet you anything my top talent that I may not remember in my own LinkedIn is not surfacing. So think about it. It's only as good as what's in there. So then the next question becomes, well, how do I get my profile to trip, right? How do I get it to find it, grab it? There's no way to answer that. So some recruiter goes into LinkedIn and does a search and you keep trying to pare it down, but because there's like millions of people on LinkedIn, you can't get that list small enough. And the reality is, even if we could get the list down to 100, which I never saw in the demonstration, by the way, taking the class, the list got down to like 2,000 people. We're not going to reach out to even 100 of them. So then it becomes, well, what's the point of this, man? I could just sift through my own applicant tracking and my list of 100 rather than going there trying to find very pointedly what I'm looking for in the skill set. Because if it's not in your profile and if it's not in your headline, I don't know how that algorithm works. People like us aren't going to find you. So for me personally, was kind of taken aback and was like, oh no, it's really hit because it's going to be difficult, frankly, not easier, in my opinion, for us to find you. And where I really see true machine learning and true, okay, the computers have taken over was exactly in LinkedIn and what's going on now. So I wouldn't worry about it. Like, do the best you can, have a good profile, but to, post and hope they're going to find you or you're going to trip it. It was hard 5 years ago. Now it's like, it's probably impossible. So just do the best you can with that. What I will tell you with the ATS is it's not legal. And I don't know anybody in any big company that has true machine learning running in their ATS. So this is what's not happening. It's not like I get up in the morning and log in and then I look at a rec and it instantly comes up and says, Elizabeth, here's 10 candidates that you need to call that will fit your position. That is not happening in any company anywhere because of bias and because of the way the algorithms are constructed. And I have an entire talk on AI for people like us that I've launched this year. So I'll post it on LinkedIn. If you ever want to join, let me know and I'll let you in to tell you specifically how this works out. So I think there's some fear in job seekers around, well, the ATS will screen me out. I can tell you, please know that a real person will read your application and respond or not respond, but it's not like you're being sifted out by some bot or some machine learning or even some automation. That's not happening. The other place, going back to automation really quickly, the other interesting place I just saw automation was the ability to pull the ad off of a job board when the applicant flow gets very, very large. So You know, let's say I post a project manager job. I know in about 3 business days, I'm going to get 100 applicants. For me personally, I watch the ads very carefully. When they start to blow up, I cut them immediately. Most recruiters are not like me, and they float to the hundreds. They're not going to see you, and here you are applying. So now there is a way they can automate so that once it reaches, say, 50 applicants, the ad automatically cuts. That's an automation thing. So for the job seeker, I would say, you know, get up, do your job search early at, you know, 5, 6 in the morning, get your applications in. I would say that anyway. But now with some of the automation things coming up, I would definitely, you know, try to be first in line for some of these positions that post. Next slide, please.
I have a question. Have you tried or recommend these automated application engines like Swoops?
I haven't played with them. You know, I can tell you from my seat, it's a nightmare, because what we have found in the last 9 months is, yeah, it populates to 150 candidates and about 90% is garbage, not qualified, and garbage because it has gone through an aggregate like that and they've shotgunned. And you know, from our perspective, it's terrible, because when we sit down and work, it really looks like 2008 and 2009. It really does. Only in 2008, 2009, I had the highest, best qualified ever, dozens of them ad nauseum. This is like weeding through high unemployment pool and it's not, because I can tell it went through that tool. I can literally tell, like, you didn't even read the ad, and you're something hit on one word like analyst and you just blasted it. You know, you don't have any experience in these other things. So
I had Swoops actually insert itself between me and LinkedIn, or LinkedIn and
wow.
I was on LinkedIn, and as usual, you know, I was interested. I clicked on apply. Instead of going to the employer's website, it took me to the Swoops website.
Ooh.
And it had me upload the resume, which was fine. And then it immediately came back and said, you only have, you know, 7 of the 10 buzzwords you should have. I, you know, will offer to change your resume for you. So I let it do that. And then, but I got to the point where it was asking for money. And I'm thinking, how on earth did it insert itself between the employer
I don't know.
LinkedIn? They must have scraped the job from that company, posted it on LinkedIn for them, and then redirected me when I hit apply to Swoops instead of the company. Have you seen that before?
No, but that's a cyber issue. And my bigger concern with that is if you paid the $8.95 for them to change your resume and submit you, that now your data is unprotected, including the credit card that you just used. My space is cybersecurity. So I'm well aware of the breaches and threat hunts and the things that are going on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So that's my bigger concern there.
They wanted $25 a month to blast these things out. I looked into some others. There's about 10 of them out there. Some charge per application. Some it's a flat fee, anywhere from 15 to 35 a month.
Yeah, the only good news there for us is, like, when we call you, like, even at my level, when we call you and vet you, you're going to get declined out immediately. So even if you get that far, you're not going to be qualified, or you're there. Like, we know when you're Googling the answers or whatever, like, you're going to get cut loose. So you can try that as a job seeker, but chances are it's going to be a swing and a miss, not a home run. We vet you out. So I don't get all worried about that too much anymore. I'm really glad you shared that though, Matt. Thank you.
I appreciate your guidance. Thank you.
Sure. Next slide. So here's one of my tips that I really want to give to you this year that I think would make everybody in the room that great find candidate. That's what's going to separate you out. You know, they're going to look at 25 to 50 resumes. They're going to wheedle that down. They're going to call 8 to 10, maybe less. Then they're going to bring in 3 to 5. And then you're going to go through rounds of interviews. They're going to make a decision. So that's, I mean, pretty broad numbers, but that's pretty accurate of what goes on. What's going to make a candidate different in this year and moving forward is how comfortable are they around automation, machine learning, AI? Can they even anecdotally talk about that a little bit? Or could they even ask that question to a company and be able to listen and respond? You know, just to even ask them, where are you at on your journey as a company? Where are you at? And would my position, is there any way that I could help with that or interface that? Because we all know that everybody's afraid, right? Everybody's afraid of what could happen, and we don't understand. Well, we don't understand we're afraid of. And so we have very quiet reactions. So you would actually be very different showing up and meeting it head on, knowing the company's doing something with this, because they all are, and being welcoming around that and being curious around that. And maybe saying, you know, I took a couple of certifications on LinkedIn. It was very interesting. I would highly recommend a couple of certifications on LinkedIn, because what you start to understand, you won't be afraid of anymore. So think about that. How can you pepper in either what you know, or better yet, questions that you can ask that employer around this new and up and coming piece, and also how it would not impact your job, but how you could support what they're doing through your role. So there's a big difference between impact and support. And I think in order to really embrace it, I go back to, you've got to be able to understand it. And I know that for me personally, that changed everything. So end of the year in December and through January, I took, and I'm being conservative, 15 hours of machine learning classes, a couple of AI classes, but a lot of machine learning classes, just at a high level, so that I could understand it enough. And any C-level person is having conversations around this. So from a hiring perspective, the more I understand that, and the more I understand their objectives, what they're going to do, their appetite for risk, what they can do, their own personal fears, then I can interface with them and hire some of the best talent. But I can't help them unless I understand it. And what I frankly think is that to read the qualifications of the job and just be plucking candidates and presenting those isn't enough anymore when it comes to what's happening on the horizon here. And for me personally, I stopped worrying about it completely because now I understand it. So I took all those classes, and then the last 2 weeks, I reached out to some very high-level technologists that are some of the best in their field from a variety of different companies and said, hey, I took all these classes. Here's my understanding of my high level in 30 seconds or less of what this is and what's going on. Is that right? Yep, Elizabeth, you got that. That is exactly what we're doing. So what do you think? Where do you think this is going? And listening to them and asking them. I had 3 targeted questions that I asked those people, and they were very gracious, and they gave me 30, 40 minutes, and I listened to all that. So that gave me the confidence to go, okay, it's not just what I read. It's not the classes that I took. Now I have people in the space that can tell me what it is and how it will impact me and everybody else, and what's kind of hot whiz bang in the future in terms of skill sets, and what might not be. So I think what happened for me is there is definitely a calmness in understanding and going to the source. So I recommend that to anybody. And again, I think if you just very simply start this way, you're going to be a really different candidate when you show up in those interviews. Next slide, please.
Just a comment.
Yeah.
In 2023, IBM said, AI may not take your job, but somebody that knows how to use it will.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that. So to
Yeah.
your slide, learn it. If you're not asked about it in your interview, bring it up and use AI in advance to do a SWOT analysis, find a weakness in that company, then ask AI again, how can I use AI to help them resolve that weakness, and bring it up. You'll differentiate yourself if you do that.
So how to get hired faster. So last year, I did a couple of big job seeking groups, and I did a lot of mostly conferences last year, but I did a couple of big job seeking groups. And I was shocked when I walked into a particular room. I think it was Frisco Connect, and I believe it was March or April. I did a presentation a year ago on AI. AI and the job search was the topic. And when I walked in, there was over 200 people and then standing room only. And the air went out of me because I was like, this isn't 4% unemployment. This isn't. That's where I met Jody, and I met, frankly, a lot of high-level executives that were very accomplished and had great compensation, and they were out on the market for 6 months or more, very disillusioned and very like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, I'm not seeing anything in the press about recession. They're telling us it's very low unemployment. I've never experienced this in my career. I don't understand what's going on. And I was shocked when I went in those rooms as well. So the one thing that I found from March until December and going into this year, there was one thing that helped a lot of those executives land quicker, and it was networking. So they could apply online, and that's all great, but then they would have to get the contact. And I had 2 of my own clients do this. They would have to get the contact and go to them directly and say, literally this, would you please review my application? Okay, you didn't ask for the interview. You didn't ask for a phone screen. You didn't ask for special treatment. You just said, would you please review my application? And they would immediately get the decline, or they would immediately, within a day or 2, get a call and get a phone screen. Because it goes back to the slides prior, we are sitting through hundreds of applications. We don't know you're there. Now we've got AI monkeying and embedded deeply into LinkedIn recruiting. So you better believe now we can't find you. So it's a person that actually helps you to get that lift and that visibility. And the clients that did hardcore, what I would call networking campaigns, networking, when I worked with them and we really did like a full-blown networking strategy, they landed considerably faster than the ones that didn't. Now, I think what I want to touch upon is like, what is networking? Because I think it can get a little murky there, right? You know, if you ask very directly, hey, would you please review my application? And you know somebody who knows somebody, what I found was that worked. I loved how we started the meeting where this is what I'm looking for, and these are the contacts I can give you. That is true networking. But it was really about getting them out of the ATS and getting somebody, a person, to just look at it and read it. And so what we also found was the in-person networking worked very well. When they had a full-blown plan, what am I going to say? Why am I calling them? Why did I pick them on the list? Do I think they'll give me 15 or 20 minutes? When they had an actual plan that they worked during the week, along with applying to the ATS, along with going to 1 or 2 of these meetings a month, those individuals landed much, much faster. And I really think with what's going on in, you know, the automation world and what we're seeing in our desk, this is what's going to help people to land faster. We definitely proved that last year with the clients that I was working with. And I think we're going to see that again. Having said that, I think that this year is going to be a great year in terms of companies hiring and positions open. And I think there's going to be, especially in the next 30, 60 days, there's going to be a real uptick in ads and uptick in business, less pulling back. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with rates. I'm not sure what's going to happen with RTO. I'm not sure if I've got too many on the payroll or if I need to shed. I think what we're going to see is a big opening in the next 30, 60 days. One thing I want to remind everyone is what we've all been through. So in 2020, you know, we had the pandemic and we all went online and went in our houses and they overhired. I mean, the bottom line is they overhired. And there were a lot of people that made 40, 50, 60% more or work 2 jobs remotely. You know, all that now is coming out in the wash. But what happened with those companies was they overhired. What you saw in 2023 was they didn't know what a skill set really cost. And they didn't know what anything cost. They were like, well, we're a business. We know that like our light bill went up too. We know that our costs went up too for whatever. But the labor doesn't, it seems off, but we don't know what it is. So for example, in 2023, what they went through was, you know, a business analyst. The business analyst I had prior to 2020, I paid $90,000 When I hired that person in the pandemic, I paid that 90,000 candidate 125 or 130 for maybe 5 years of experience. Now, I know it's not $130,000, but it's not 90 either due to the increase in the cost, but I don't know what it is. And they banged around these numbers with compensation teams and CEOs and CFOs to try to figure out what does a position cost all the way through the board. And they're still not quite there, to be honest, but I think they're closer to it. But what I think you're going to see again is an opening there. Now, I think, you might see some stuff shed and pulled out of there where some jobs may be automated, or they're going to get cut back, or some of those duties are going to get slimmed down. You're going to see a reshuffling of the deck, but I still think overall you're going to see an opening in positions. It's going to look a little different. But I think the best strategy again is people hire people, not ATSs, not chatbots, not, you know what I mean? It's going to be who you know that can connect you and say, hey, would you review that resume? So that's what I'm suggesting this year based off of data I saw and lived through with my clients last year and the ones that were successful. So keep that in mind as we move into this year. I think it's much better than it was last year, honestly. I feel for a lot of people that have been out for 6, 8, 9 months a year, this could be their year. I feel pretty positive about it. Might need to reposition yourself, might need to rethink the search again, might need to, do it a little better, quicker, faster, or throw out what isn't working and try something new. But I really believe that this could be your year. Next slide. So these are some great reads that you might want to look at. The hiring trends 2025, what employers need to know. The tech forecast was fantastic. That's a much longer read, a deep dive. If you're a technical person, I think you'd enjoy that. LinkedIn came out with their hiring trends, HR and recruitment trends, Amazon. And then when I talk to people in the other large companies that are my friends and colleagues that maybe I worked with at Fiserv that all moved on since, they were saying the same things. The interview guides will actually change as well. They'll become more skill-based rather than behavioral-based. You're going to see and feel a difference. It's going to be subtle. You may not know it, but this kind of presentation helps you to prep as you go into this next year. Next slide. I think it's my final slide on the next one. Oh, sure. So I always offer to groups like this, if you would like to reach out to me, if you want me to review your resume, I'm happy to do it. I would go through lionsology.com. You can fill out a little thing there. It'll stun me and we can set up a call. I'm happy to do that if you want. I also do executive coaching. If you want to look at that, you're welcome to do it. But for these kinds of groups, I always like to, offer and give away whatever you might need in terms of support to land. There's a couple of people that I did respond to in the chat. There might be some context there where I can help you if you want to set up a call. Again, go through the site and we can set something up. So at this point, I take any questions if there are any.
Hi, Elizabeth. Great presentation. I like it. Very insightful. I got a question for you. If you are working on a certification soon to be acquired, do you add it to your resume and do in progress, or do you just wait until you get the certification?
No, I would definitely put it on the resume. And then typically what we read, the best way to say that is like expected spring 2025, like when you're going to sit for the exam. And in interviews, that's what we ask. So we'll ask, a good recruiter will ask your current certifications. And then I always ask, hey, is there anything that you're studying for or a certification you're about to get that I should know about, and make a notation here. And then often I uncover, sure enough, that technical person is about to sit for a cloud cert or a cyber cert or something. And then I just ask them when they expect to sit for that exam. So yeah, we do want to know about that, and that will help you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, Elizabeth. It's Phil.
Hey, Phil.
You mentioned something a while ago that's sort of like the third rail in a lot of situations. You mentioned the political changes, the extreme ones that have just started up. And I think that has a lot of us scared and wondering whether or not, if we didn't vote for the winning team, or if we didn't advocate the winning team, do we need to worry about being downgraded in evaluation? Let me turn this back on. In the evaluation of our skills and our ability to do the job. I saw that your last comment on the last slide talked about Amazon pulling something that showed a political bias that may not have been intended, but was still there. The bias against women there. I think politics has a lot of us really shell-shocked at the moment. What do you think, in general, is the situation there?
Yeah, Phil, that's a great question. Here's my question to the group. Did you read the executive orders? Did you bother to read them the directly, like from the White House? Because I did. Because I felt the same way. And I was frankly shocked and appalled that the news on both sides that I thought I was getting, or the sound bites I thought I was getting, were truth. And I'll be really honest with you, someone actually physically sent me the executive order on DEI and was wildly upset last week. And they were like, "Did you see this?" And they sent the order, and I sat and I read it. And through there, I did the back button and I sat and I read all of them. And I have to tell you, once I read them and I went to the source, my own personal thoughts, opinions, panic, concern went away. And what I found, we talk about all the time, is like, you know, the news isn't news anymore. I mean, a lot of us are at an age group where news was very different a lot of years ago. It's really not. And what I found was, to my own shock, I thought I was smarter and had more discernment in what I was taking in terms of media consumption, and my sources I thought were good. And I may as well be drinking a bottle of Clorox from underneath my kitchen sink. It was poisonous. So what I did,
Are you going to inject it?
I went to the source and I read it, and then I made my own decision. And then the last thing I will leave you with, so that we don't get into a political conversation here, which I don't think is necessary nor appropriate, is whatever's in your mind is the experience you're going to get. Like, I had clients last year, they were like, "Man, I'm out of work 6 months and this and that." And I'm like, we really worked on, how are they seeing the job search? How are they seeing themselves? These guys were like super accomplished. Like, there was nothing wrong with them. Like, visually, they presented beautifully and they were articulate and they were smart, but they had such a hit to their confidence. They needed some coaching. They needed somebody to tell them what to correct and really crawl in their heads and have them look at their thoughts. And so if you're drinking the Kool-Aid on either side about this is all good or this is all bad, your experience is that. And the world is as you see it. It's really, nothing is happening to you or to the older worker or to any of us. But I will tell you, it is happening. And I will tell you, this is evolution. So that's my statement around it. But I would highly recommend all smart individuals here read the executive orders. It might not be as bad as you think.
Thank you for the answer. I don't know if I can live without sleeping ever, but thank you.
We have a question in the room.
Hi, Elizabeth. This is Jenny Holcomb, and I loved your presentation today. Thank you so much. I had a quick question about what you felt was the best first AI course you took for certification.
Yeah. Hey, Jenny, go to my LinkedIn and I'll accept you in there. And then I've listed them, but there's a guy that's great of all the classes. His class, his last name is Rose, R-O-S-E. Can't remember his first name. He is fantastic. I highly recommend them. Actually, if you don't have the full-blown premium, you can, if you click around enough times, you can actually take 2 or 3 classes for free, and then they shut you off, because that's what happened to me. So, and you can get the certification too. So there was like, you can get the actual names and look them up. So come in, and send me the invite, and then you can see on my profile down at the bottom the certs, or you and I can go back privately, and I'd be happy to send you that. But there's one guy I would highly recommend that you look at.
Any other
Anybody
questions?
else?
Going once? We got lots of time left.
I just want to say this was a fantastic presentation, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. I really
you're welcome.
appreciate your thoroughness, your honesty, your insight into so many topics. It was great.
It's scary out there. It can be very scary out there. We got AI, we got some unemployment, we got, it can be scary. And so what I really want to do is tell you what to look out for and prepare you. But, I don't think it's as bad as they want to tell us. I think there's a lot really good happening too. And I really want to thank Rashawn again for finding that on Netflix. You're magical. Thank you so much for supporting me, Rashawn, and grabbing that link.
And I'll point that out in the follow-up email.
Did you have a question, Rashawn? You're on mute.
Yes, Elizabeth. Thank you for the very insightful discussion this morning. So my question is with regards to the economy and the type of employment, right? Going towards gig, like gig economy type of structures. I think I had read somewhere that, and this is I think it was Hoffman, the owner or the previous owner of LinkedIn, saying that all jobs will go from W-2 to independent consulting, or kind of that kind of structure. Your thoughts on that and how that might affect the conventional lives that we lead these days?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So, it's funny, as my first knowledge of gig economy was clear back in like 2004, like over 20 years ago. So they've been talking about this idea that you would actually build a pod, if you will. You'd have an accountant, and you'd have, a tech person or tech people. You'd have all the disciplines, right? That you would have in a business in a pod, and they would be independent consulting kind of people, and they would work on a project base. And then when we talked about gig economy, when I researched it a couple of years ago, they were really talking about like Uber drivers or side hustles, and side hustles were like lower income kinds of jobs, not necessarily hanging a shingle or a high level professional. The thing with the gig economy that was always the issue that was raised in 2004 and today that they may not be raising is the healthcare burden. That's the thing that really kind of stops people in general, or the problematic of that new world being created, the healthcare and the benefits, and what do we do around that? So I think that's probably one of the challenges there. I haven't seen or read where we're definitely going that way, one way or the other. I also think it's really great to do some side work and learn and grow and to have clients. And I think it's, the safe haven is definitely the employer and the benefit plan and the vacation, and to give something of yourself, something larger. So I don't think one way is bad or good, but I'm not seeing where we're definitely going that way. It's been talked about, like I said, for a lot of years. I'm not seeing anything definite in that.
Right. Thank you for that insight.
You're welcome.
Because yeah, as you pointed out, right, all of our benefits and other things that we take for granted today will disappear with the gig kind of construct, right? You're income is coming in only when you are gigging, if I can put the pun in.
Love it.
If you're not gigging, you're not incoming. So
Well, the other thing is from a society aspect, when you look at us, whether it's American or just people on this earth, today, even if your child even breaks their arm, it's $20,000. Forget cancer, forget a major health issue, forget the health issue that they can't figure out what it is. So you have to keep going back and getting scans and blood work and this and that. Now you're in medical bankruptcy. So they're not going to have all the people, the schmucks like me that are working in corporate America, carry all of that. It just doesn't work. So that's why that whole gig economy is a little like, well, I don't know, because the healthcare costs now, you're not going to be able to sustain that. If something happens, and I think what we've learned is, especially through COVID, anything can happen at any time to anybody. Doesn't matter. Used to be like, well, if you're 30 or between 30 and 40, you might be able to fudge it, not need that much healthcare. Health isn't guaranteed now. I think that's what we really learned in the pandemic. So, I don't know. I don't think, well, I mean, me of all, I definitely don't think, having your own side hustle, having your own creative endeavor is a negative thing. I think it can be wildly positive, but I think there's also something good about being in a large company and giving to something that's larger than yourself and being a part of that team and being a part of that stock market. And frankly, your, talent acquisition, those words mean I'm buying you. I'm acquisitioning your talent for a period of time until you decide you don't want to be there, or I decide you shouldn't be there. So I think that it's either way is okay. But the big obstacle I see with the gig stuff is that healthcare, not just from an individual, but a society thing, and just how we've set up our infrastructure with insurance and healthcare and all of that.
Dave?
Thank you, Elizabeth. I actually was there when you did that AI talk over a year ago at Cisco Connect. Yeah, that was shook me to the core too. So, question for you about the job market. So, we're all hearing the same thing. That's 4% unemployment. Things are doing great. But I go to South Lake. I was there long enough ago that I remember when it was about 80 people, and now it's pushing 200.
Yeah,
you can see it. The other thing is, when I first started on the job search and I went on the job board and looked at jobs, there are the same postings today that were back then. Okay, something's going on there. These aren't legit. So, and I've heard that in Wall Street Journal talked about it recently about, there are a lot of fake jobs out there. But, putting that aside, the question is, where's the job market at? And has there been something artificially holding back on hiring? Or is it, maybe I'm just guessing here, but was there something going on, and is it about to open up again? That's what
yeah. So I do want to speak to that. I'm going to take a little different turn, but I think it's going to answer your question. And thanks for being here. You saw me last year. Thanks for being here today. I tripped and fell into a report on YouTube from the Wall Street Journal. And it was like I left South Lake Focus Group, or it was Frisco Connect, and I went on vacation 3 weeks later. I came across this report. There is this thing that it is not talked about at all, and it's called forced attrition. And so I'm going to go back to the videotape. In 2020, we had the pandemic, and then we hired, and then we overhired, and we overpaid. And then I don't know if you remember, there was the year that they entitled it the Big Stay, where everybody wasn't quitting anymore. They were just going to sit at their desks. And some of those people, frankly, weren't even at meets on their performance review. They were under meets, and companies kept them. And we kept rolling along. And we also have the looming empty buildings everywhere that are not filled, and rents aren't going to be paid, kind of thing, and we keep kicking that can down the road. So forced attrition, here's how it plays out. And we don't come out and tell you this is happening because we don't want our top performers to quit. We don't want them to put their resumes online. And the biggest reason we don't do that is because it causes the stock to go. That's what it causes. And so we don't tell you this. But forced attrition simply is, you know it, you just don't know you know it. First, it sounds like everybody in the office 3 days a week. And so now everybody goes in the office 3 days a week. And then the next thing it sounds like is, you live 60 miles from the office. You're like, but I'm in 3 days a week. I come in, I drive in. I've worked here 20 years. I'll go back and do it. No, you need to move. You need to move within 20 miles of the office. And you know what? You're a good employee. We're going to give you some money. We're going to give you $5,000 to move. You're like, that's like, I can't pull my kids out of school and sell my house. That's not even a U-Haul. I think I'm just going to take the package. And so that plays out for a while. And then, the next thing that is you internal that wants the promotion, there's not going to be an increase. No increase. So a lateral is no increase and a promotion is no increase. And then they wait. And then bonus happens in February or March, and they look at that attrition number. And I will tell you, from a lot of interviews every day, all day long, in a very high level space, these are the stories the candidates are telling me. So I don't really need to go back to the Wall Street Journal report, because I saw a year ago last spring on vacation. They're telling me, like, AT&T is pulling us back in. It's downtown. I'm not doing it. And my girlfriend who rides the train said the train is crazy and they're all going downtown. Nobody ever took the train in Dallas ever. What the heck is going on? So it's a reshuffling of the deck that's happening. In terms of the postings that you're seeing, I don't know that the larger companies, they're really good about being within compliance and trying to do a good job treating people carefully and yanking ads and not posting them for 6 or 8 months. In the cybersecurity space, the big conversation on LinkedIn, which I've been a part of and I've seen play out, is like, we were like the most sought after, coolest, hippest. You guys threw all kinds of money at us. Now you won't even call us back. So in cybersecurity, we're seeing something a little different there, where the ads are posted a long time and grow very stale because they really don't know what they want. And they don't do a good job in understanding the position before it goes live on the job. And then the recruiter isn't maybe even in that cyberspace, that isn't educated enough to do those interviews. And then the hiring manager sees 10 people and is like, I don't know, maybe we just like hire an interim. So in cyber, it's a hot mess. And a lot of those people, you want to talk about disillusionment, like what we see in South Lake Focus Group or some of the other jobs, Frisco Connect, right? The disillusionment within the cyberspace is like really dismal. I mean, these are like, these are people that keep hackers out of banks and stuff. Like, they're all of a sudden like they were the hot thing at the dance and now nobody will date them, kind of thing. It's terrible. So I think, the symptoms you're talking about stem from a larger disease. And what I would tell you is, for this year, you're going to see a lot of ups and downs, but it's going to get cleared out. And I would have faith in the overall process of it, because they're going to clean it up, because they have to clean it up. So, and I think the stock market will rally. And I'm pretty confident in that. And I think you're going to see more openings than not. But it is like recession in that there's a reshuffling of the deck here. And it may be uncomfortable and it may be confusing. But what you're describing again is a symptom of a larger disease. So does that make sense?
So, yeah, I mean, so a testament to this is a previous employer, when I started with them, was about 40,000 employees. Now they're about 50. And every year that I was there, they were laying off. So it's like, yeah, so another question would be, okay, are they pivoting towards something? The example I heard previously was Intuit fired, 10,000 people, and then they turn around and hire 10,000 people. and it was all towards an AI shift.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking like all across the board, all kinds of industries.
Yeah.
So what, is there something they're moving towards? You know, just, I don't know if there's any trends towards that, like what are they moving towards? I don't know.
I think you're onto something. I have seen that very quietly, very almost secretly, where they are coming through and shedding in tech bunches of people. And in that, to be fair, you're gonna have collateral damage. They don't care that they just whacked the top performer that was there 25 years. It's like, whoopsie, car hit you. we're aiming for something else. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about that, but that's normal. I've kicked around a long time. That does happen. Those people do land, usually for a couple bucks more, like Jody, and get treated really well. You know, they are moving towards automation. Machine learning, not talked about maybe as much, but it's definitely in there and happening. You're more than welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can see my whole presentation on machine learning and AI for this year. It's much more robust kind of presentation. So I think they are moving towards that. I mean, Zuckerberg came out and says, look, we're also gonna level a whole bunch of jobs out of here and automate and go towards AI, which really I think is more automation. So I think they are moving towards that. Nobody's going really hard and fast. They don't talk about that. I think they want to be innovative and cool and hip and, you know, try to get new cool talent in there, especially when you're talking to tech firms. But, you know, they can't go running at this too quick and fast because of the algorithms and because of the governance and because of privacy laws and so forth. So yeah, I think they're moving towards something. It's definitely more towards automation. I read an article recently, actually published that in my other presentation, where leadership is actually going to be very needed during this transformational time. We're not going to like cut it all out. We need leaders to help us through this time of transformation. So not tech people, but true business people that will help pioneer some of this. So those jobs I don't see going away. Some of the middle management, there is questions now, and I can see companies doing this going, do we need that manager level? Do we need the senior manager level? If we've got a team that's doing what it needs to do, we might be able to shed this and, you know, just have these really strong individual contributors or tech leads in these positions. Because really this manager, you know what they're doing? They're pulling, you know, the 6 reports and then reporting that information up to the director and the VP. Like, they're questioning, does that layer go? And I think we're seeing some of that, and some of that might go this year as well. So that's what I'm seeing when I read the tea leaves.
You look out the faces and you meet the folks and they're middle and senior level.
Yeah.
But what kind of jobs, when you're seeing the postings and you're seeing the demand, what's the demand side look like? Is there anything there you can tell on the demand side?
I can't tell yet, because when we kicked off January, because of this first year, the way that the holiday fell like on Wednesdays and it was all wonky. And so usually right after the first, the jobs all jump and the ads all jump, and that just didn't happen. We really didn't start, even my friends that are in transition, we really didn't start seeing calls backs and things happening. Even the people that landed said, yeah, I applied in December, right? I can't get a feeling on those trends because we're just at the end of January and our spike just happened like a week or two prior. So I don't really have a sense or a feel on that. I think if you just watch the titles the next 30, 60 days and the headlines, where are they shedding, right? So if Microsoft comes through, where are they shedding? If Intuit comes through and they're shedding, you know, what are they pulling out of there?
Bill?
I'm trying to figure out, and by the way, thank you for the presentation. I actually learned a bunch today. I'm sure I'm not the only one. What I'm trying to figure out from the presentation is how much of what you said can be applied to non-technical job seekers. Most of what you said was AI and ML and all the 2-letter abbreviations we've all learned in the last year. But how about those of us who are not technical people?
It's for everyone. It truly. I noticed there was in the room, I was keenly aware of that. We had a accounting person. That person would still want to get to know somebody to make sure that her resume is read out of the 200 others that are in there. There was a property manager in the room. There was all of this applies truly, because job seeking is job seeking. I just tend to tell stories that are tech or cyber related. But it's the same thing. When they apply to jobs, it's the same thing. And by the way, that's a great question. It's the same thing. There, like what I said about AI being in the ATS, and not to worry. Where they're applying, it's going to be the same thing. So this information is going to cross over regardless of skill set, regardless if you're a big company, a tech company, or, it's something different. Those ATSs and all that is going to run the same way. The comments around automation are all going to be about the same way. So yeah, it's going to be relevant for everybody. That's a really good call out.
Thank you, Phil. Anyone else?
Yes, I have a question. Elizabeth, did you say that the ATS is not going to kick us out? It's actually going to be a human reviewing our resume that's going to kick us out?
Yeah.
And the reason I ask that is because that is contrary to what so many others teach.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do this presentation, because there's a lot of fear in that, and there always has been. But truly, from a technology perspective, and when we get into machine learning versus automation and what they're legally around to do, and it doesn't matter if you're the small property management company or if you're Intel or Microsoft, a physical person has to read and decline you, or read and pull you in. There isn't any, that's not like any of us get up in the morning and we click some buttons and then boom, we have a list and we call that list first, or it ranks and then when you get into LinkedIn Recruiter, that's the caveat. So if I'm a recruiter and I'm in LinkedIn Recruiter, that my company pays for that, I did that certification. That's where I truly saw AI and machine learning. That was an algorithm running that pulled the list and sorted it down. And it was, I'm never going to find you. I'm never going to find you. So I may as well just network. So yeah, I that's one of my biggest things for this year is there's a lot of just fear. I don't even want to say misinformation necessarily. I just think there's just a lot of fear. And so now that I've gone to the source, right, and I've taken all this time, I just want to share and point to links and places where then you can either believe me or you can go and find that and realize that, hey, it's going to be all right. But I can tell you for a fact that a person reads your stuff.
When I got my last job at Circle K, the recruiter had the recruiter software, and he went on LinkedIn and he looked for a technical writer that had 3 years of experience in fuel. And I said to him, oh, there's not very many of us. And he said, no, there aren't.
No.
And that's why I got the job,
Yep.
So
that list is longer now, though. That list is not, that's what I mean with the algorithm that it's set up. When I went through that class, the list got as short as like 2,000 people. And so I'm watching the instructor go, oh, this is great. I'm like, oh, this is hell. I'm never going to find you. And then I'm like, oh my God, like if I could get it from 2,000 to 100, calling 100 people, time for that. No recruiter on the base is calling 100 people. And then my next thing was like, oh my gosh, what about the people in my network? What about the people that know the people that I need to know in my network? I bet you they're not on that list if I sort it, because it's running off some algorithm. So then it becomes garbage in, garbage out in the LinkedIn recruiting. So it's like, if you have these exact words in your profile, then everybody runs and worries, do they have the right words in the profile? Forget it. It's like chasing smoke. You're never going to figure it out. So we go back to, remember, ultimately people hire people. So do that networking and do a good job in it.
Is the Wordle software tool still in existence, and does it help at all? I guess garbage in, garbage out has to do with whether or not the job description that's posted is accurate and complete. But I remember that was a tool we used to see if we could match up what we were offering with what they said they were asking for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in my world, you would have an intake meeting. It doesn't matter what the ad says. You would have a minimum 30-minute meeting with an executive to go over the legal qualifications prior to posting to make sure that we're all in agreement. And that's what was budgeted for, you know, under the desired, if this is what you want. So again, we have people talking to people, not, yeah, this looks good. You know, we'll compare, you know, the ad here and this there and click a button and then post that. It's not, they do have software that, you know, many years ago, they do have software that makes ads read in a way that's going to be more welcoming for all parties to apply. And I have seen that. There's one called Textio, Texio, that I used many years ago. Because what they found was some of the words and the language did not, frankly, attract women. It just didn't. And so they would come back through and say, why do you word it this way? And so we would go in there and soften some of that language. But the qualifications of the job are the qualifications of the job. And again, there's due to legal ramifications and the risk associated with that, which my other presentation covers, or an AI class would cover. We can't do that due to bias. And companies are, I think we've all learned a lot. I think we're all more ethical around hiring practices. We all know the rules, but I think that as a society, when I look at companies, large, medium, small, I think that we all agree that diversity in the talent pool is good. Diversity in the interview process is good. We, you know, we've all got, some of us got our hands slapped around that, where we've cleaned that up. And I think as a society in the United States, we're much different than we were even 5 years ago. So they're not going to allow, for integrity reasons and also legal reasons, to just have something sitting on top of there that makes decisions.
Got time for one more. Okay. Elizabeth, thank you very much. It was
sure, my friend.
Fantastic presentation as usual.
Sure. My pleasure. Everybody knows where to find me. Thanks for having me. You're welcome to reach out. I'm happy to review your resume if you want. If you have a couple of questions around the job search, you're concerned, you're worried, you have a one-off situation, happy to do a call with you. Matt, I hope to reconnect with you. Again, I'm thrilled to see you, but what are you doing here, man? We got to get you going. You know, we want a story like Jody here. I'm actually going to ping him on LinkedIn.
I'm surprised he's here today.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. And Walt, thank you so much for having me in the back and forth. And I hope you feel better. And it's nice to see you as well on camera, Walt.
Well, I hope you feel better too, Elizabeth.
Yeah. Yeah, I woke up with it in the middle of the night. So I'm like, I had to be here though. I wasn't going to let you guys down. So thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Elizabeth.
Still on the list for the future too, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, I will copy you on the follow-up email.
Awesome.
So you'll have all the attendees and a copy of the chat. A lot of people are asking me if they can get a copy of your presentation.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're going to see those articles, and I think I've embedded links there. They're welcome to them. Sure.
Okay, I'll convert it to a PDF first. All right. Quick reminder, Jeff's wonderful website, careerdfw.org, has lots of resources for the job seeker. The calendar is one of the best reasons to go there every Sunday night. Look at the calendar, see everything that's coming up for the week and fill your week. This is what the graphical view looks like. And this is what the agenda view looks like. When you click on one of these, you get all the information, time, date, location, and Zoom info, if applicable. That's at careerdfw.org. And then I will be uploading this recording to the Career USA YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/Career USA. I will try and get that done in the next 24 hours. To see past speakers, go here and click on View Full Playlist, and you will get this list. And we keep that updated every week. So you can go back, how many years, Jeff? 10, 12? Wow. And it's a great resource. Check it out, especially if you missed one. This Joyous Stress we had a few weeks ago already has 134 views. So I'm sure Elizabeth is going to exceed that. All right, coming up on Tuesday, Ruth Lipsky is back with us. If you attended last week or earlier this week, you'll recognize the name. Yes, she's going to be here back to back, but it's two different presentations. The one on Tuesday of this week was her newer one, and the one next week is her usual one called LinkedIn Tools for Job Seekers. So be sure to check that out. Again, you can go to Career DFW to get the link for that right there. Then on Wednesday, the pit crew in this room will be here from 1 to 3. Wald and I are panelists. Come see us. And here's a reminder. Here's the address. And then upcoming sessions. Next Friday is open forum, being the first Friday of the month. You have questions, we have answers. Always lively conversation. So be thinking about those nagging questions, bring them in, and we'll get them answered for you. And then the following week on the 14th of February, negotiations, closing the deal for what you are worth with Crystal Yates. Excellent presentation. I've seen it. All right. Reminder, we're headed to Mama's Pizza after the meeting. Please join us for some more networking. And thank you for joining us. See you again next week. Elizabeth, again, thank you very much.
Everyone be well. Have a great week.